578,000 votes have been cast. So we now know, according to you, not according to the whole world, but according to you, what the best photos from Artemis are. And I'm making a video that I'm going to take down in mere hours. Sometimes I like to do this. I kind of like the idea that there are certain things on the internet that only exists for periods of time. And so this is one of those. The calendar pre-order is closing down in a few hours, so this video is only going to be up for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. And we're going to look and see how I did compared to you when I picked what photos were going to go in the calendar. So I have curated a calendar for my reasons, and then tens of thousands of people casting hundreds of thousands of votes. You together made your selections for what the best pictures were, and we're going to find out whether or not we agree. I'm going to tell you why I disagree with you on some of them. And honestly, the reasons are mostly logistical. But we're going to see what I picked, we're going to see what you picked, and then maybe we're going to play connections. So if you go to artemistimeline.com/vote, there's several different ways that I've done the votes, but I've decided to go with find the best Artemis video. So this is just pick your favorite. Is it this one? Is it this one? Ooh, that's actually hard. This one's hard. And then all that goes in, and I will say, it is just the pictures that I picked to go in the timeline, so we're not picking from all of the pictures. We're picking from the ones that are inside of the timeline tool, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one here, and then this. Actually, this one made it into the calendar, or a very similar one. I really like these pictures, this series where you can see the glare. This is like the skin of someone. I think it's a hand holding a camera. So you do these votes, and then you can go and you can like look at the current rankings and see what the current rankings are. And as of right now, remarkably, the top picked image using this tool is the same as the top picked image using the other tool that I originally did, which is this picture, which is the one that I actually made a modification to the calendar to include it. I had previously a very similar photo that was more like this one, less exposure, more sort of hanging out in the middle of space. It wasn't this one exactly, but it was one quite like it. But this one kept coming up as people's favorite with a longer exposure time and more light. And I ended up putting that one in September. It was just replacing the photo that I had in that space that was the eclipse. I only wanted to have like one of each moment, though there is like one exception to that rule. Like I wouldn't want to have this and one that's just like it but with a different exposure, right? So yes, that number one picture is indeed in the calendar, though I put it in there specifically because it was number one the first time I did this test. Now this one is not in the calendar. Of course, I'm only going to have one of these Earthrise images, and I went with the one that NASA sort of picked to be the new Earthrise image, which is this one. And I could see it either way. I like the idea of the horizon of the Earth looking like it is actually setting on the moon versus another but very similar and very good angle of like these are objects in space is more like what this looks like. We don't see like the sun and the moon rising on the side of the Earth. Of course they do, but we're standing up straight off the side of the Earth, so it looks like they're rising. So I went with this one, but this is much more sort of like Tatooine, space flight, space travel. There's a little bit of me who's on the fence about this, and sure I could have included 2 images from this moment, but I didn't, and so this is the one that we've got in our calendar. I like this one. The Earth is really well exposed here. I feel like you can actually see some like cloud shadow going on. That's the one I went with. And I'm sticking with it. I'm not letting you sway me. In fact, I think it's too late to make any changes. So that's another good reason to do that. I also did not include anything with an astronaut's face in it. Now I technically could. So NASA has, people say that it's fair use, but it's a little more complicated than fair use. There's like use restrictions. And one of the use restrictions is like, you know, be careful when you're using people's likenesses. Now, in the case of Artemis, I don't think that we have to worry about that. Those people knew that they were going to be very well immortalized in a lot of photography. I decided not to include any people in it and just make it about space. So that one, I didn't include. These 2 highly ranked pictures. This one has been on and off in number 1 spot, but I didn't include any faces. There's also these, which I would call different. And maybe I could have included one of these, but they are like they're not as like high quality photos. They're just, the cameras aren't as good. But of course, it is very cool to see the spacecraft in the image. But I didn't do any of those. Interestingly, there is, of course, a moment that I included in the calendar. That's this one. And there's a lot of ways to include this moment. And y'all, the number one voted is this, where it's kind of to the side. And again, it has this more outer spacey feeling and less like composed, more like you've just sort of arrived on a scene and that's what it looks like, versus this one that looks like it was more composed by a photographer. And I also really like the smudges on the screen. This was a really hard pick for me, but I chose one that had like minimal glare but still had the glare to give it that feeling of being a photograph that was taken from the inside of a spacecraft. But I really do like this vibe as well, where it's sort of tilted to the side. And then this, of course, is in the calendar, this image. This is the December image. So it's the last image of the year before you get to January, which is Splashdown, the January of 2028. So this is the last image of the year. And indeed, we picked the same one, highly rated, good Earth, the cosmic shoreline. There she is. You could even see a little bit of the window frame in my crop. That was another thing that I had to deal with, is like, how do we make that work? And we're going to see that in just a second. How do we make the crop work? I should have said this earlier, but yes, there are hours left. If you want this calendar, there are hours left for you to pre-order, and then you can't pre-order it anymore. And then we're going to make the exact number that we sell, and there will be no extras, and we will have no waste. It's going to take a while to get them to you, but we're not like super rushed on this because it's a 2027 calendar, and you don't need it before 2027. So I think you probably will get it in July at some point. And then there was this one very similar, but without the smudges, but I wanted a smudgy one. Interestingly, your Earth set image that got picked, I am saying that this is yours. This is, of course, not yours. It's the collective interests of many people, which, wisdom in the crowds and everything. You could very well be right. I didn't like this one as much. The Earth is a little overexposed. There's like a glow that's artificial that I don't like the look of. I liked the Earth more up and a little bit more zoomed in. Look at that beautiful boy. That beautiful blue boy. Oh my gosh, they're changing order as I'm using it. It is still, the votes are still active, everybody. Things are moving around. Yeah, this one's still number 1, but yeah. This one's popped up into number 3. That's crazy. Now that this is no longer top 10, this is now 11. I don't know what's going on. There's this, which I quite like. I did a version of this that was zoomed out that I heard someone on Blue Sky call Space Boob. And I like this a lot. There's just so much moon. I like getting a lot of moon. I wanted to include like one picture in here that was just moon. She's the star. She's a little bit the star of the mission, right? So we shouldn't have it just be Earth and only Earth all of the time. Interestingly, the galaxy made it in. I didn't really find myself that compelled by this. I've seen a lot of galaxy photography, and it just, it does look somewhat different, and I couldn't tell you exactly why. There's a lot of color in this. And of course, you're not taking it through the atmosphere, but there's a lot of space photography of galaxies. There is one little smudge down here that gives it a little life. And like you see some of these like points of light get bent. And I think that light is getting bent by the windows, is my guess. Now, interestingly, my January image, this is my image from January, did not make it in the top 200 at all. But I really like this picture. I specifically like it for a calendar because it has this sort of like 1, 2, 3 kind of step up feeling. I got the horizon in. I love the birds. There's like this feeling of the intensity of it because the birds are like, ah! So this is the one I picked for that. The launch photos, there are lots of launch photos that made it through that cut. This one. I also didn't include this. I have another launch photo, which is this one, and I really like this one because you could see the spaceship so clearly. This is hard to do because these solid rocket boosters are so bright. And this one, the rocket boosters are so bright, and then it's also taken toward the sun, that it's just a silhouette of the spacecraft. So I really wanted that to come through so you could see that iconic space shuttle-like orange and white. That's a difference of opinion that we had. So my January image was indeed also in the top 100, and I believe that it's this one right here, which is the top rated one of this series. So we picked the same one to be the number 1 of this series of photographs. And then we got March, which is one that also did not get picked. Oh, it did. It did make it through. It made it through at number 166. So it did fine. But I really like this. I really like the sort of like, this is our planet, and off camera, off screen is the sun. This thing that, provides all of the energy that makes it all work. The signal of the sun without actually seeing the sun. And also you understand more intuitively how a crescent works. If the sun was here and the Earth was here, what you would be seeing is a half planet, but in fact what is happening is the sun is over here, which to your eyes is going to look in the same place because it's just a big bright thing in the sky. You can't tell how far away it is. So it's lighting up half of it, but it's not the half that we can see from our angle. And I like that. I like understanding how it all works. This one, I believe, ranked pretty highly. Yeah, here it is. It's number 21. It was really interesting to, like, for a second I was like, maybe I can't use this image because I can't crop correctly. But then I cropped it and I was like, oh, actually, that's awesome. That's really, really good. So this is Venus and this is the moon. And it's the sun is behind the moon, so like shining through it. This is the zodiacal light, the lit up dust of the solar system. I really like, this was one of my top 10 images from the start, but then when I did this crop, I was like, ooh, God, I love space. Because I wanted to include Venus, and I could have like had it way more over, but then I was like, oh, I actually... just having it sort of be like looming there in the side is very good. An interesting thing here is that these images, this series, wasn't in the public when I first did the calendar. Now, I could have swapped it in and out, but I really like this. Maybe I should have. It's too late now. I do really like this. I like the sort of out of focusness of this frame and the in focus, and then all the like spots on the window. It makes you feel like you're on a road trip, you know, except that the infinite spaces outside of the window. This, however, should this is one of the best images, and it also didn't rank like this was higher. I don't know. It's just, I mean, that's the atmosphere of Earth glowing, so that's cool. I'm not saying it's not cool, but like, come on. I mean, it did rank in the top 200. I saw it in here. It's 120. What was it? 129. But yeah, that's one of my absolute favorite images from the mission. You guys think that this one was better, which is just like a flash photo, so it's all like the same. Like, there's no depth to the craft like this is, and it's also like the depth of field isn't there. I don't know, if you put those two up against each other, you think people would click on this? I would never. I thought about including this one, but I decided not to. This is a time lapse of the launch. It's very cool. Time lapse. No, open shutter. And then we have one that is just the moon. We must feature the moon, and I like this one a lot. I think that I ended up rotating this from its original angle. I could see this one not making it the top 200, but like really I wanted one that was like the moon looming in space, and really good Terminator, you know, lots of shadow. You see how freaking high these craters are. It's crazy to be catching that much shadow all the way down here, you know. And then we have the Earth, and then we have Splashdown, and those were the pictures I picked. There are others that are very good, and so this is hard, and I included Splashdown as just, you know, a way of saying like, this is the end of the calendar. We're in January of 2028. The distance from Earth is on the ground here. So we added in like the 2022 Artemis 1 dates of Artemis 1, and we included Apollo 11 dates, and then Artemis 2 flying from the 1st of April through the 10th of April, which of course is the, you know, what the timeline tool is showing. Photo here, when it's doing its lunar flyby, so you can see every image. It shows you where they were when the image was taken, which is quite cool as well. Thanks to the team at DFTBA for putting that together. Thank you to everybody for your votes. There's so many good photos. It's hard. Maybe I'll do another one next year, and I'll include the ones that we didn't get to include this year. I don't know if there's going to be any appetite for that, but if you do want to live through Artemis a little bit more, you still can get the calendar, but only for mere hours, and then it'll go away if you didn't get it because you didn't want it, or you didn't see this video. But if you didn't see this video, you don't know. That's a good reason to take the video down. I don't want people to feel bad that they missed it, and I know that a lot of people will feel bad that they missed it, because when I do these things where it's like there's 3 hours left, a bunch of people buy them, and then it's like the people who weren't there in those 3 hours, they missed it. They missed their chance. But that's okay. We miss our chances. Let's play Connections. Puff. Episode Tie Shoelaces. Puff is the name of a dragon. Period, chain, season. A period, a season. A lanyard, or a tie, things that go around your neck. A chain goes around your neck. Think friendship bracelet doesn't go around your neck, famously. Kipu, that's a familiar couple of words, but I don't know why. A series. A period, a season, a series. Kind of, maybe. An episode. Wait. No, this is a chunk of a TV show. We have an episode, a season, a series, a period. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's like a weird red herring where like you think that it's a thing that is like to do with a TV show, but in fact it is just like a chunk of time or a chunk of something, like an episode, a season, a series, a period. That could totally be right. I would love that. So I'm going to call that a category, actually. I don't know what a kipu is. It's a familiar word, but I can't tell you where it's hanging in my brain. A lanyard, a tie, a boa, that also goes around your neck, and a chain. Shoelaces don't go around your neck. A friendship bracelet doesn't go around your neck. Those are all things that go around your neck. Kipu, macrame, friendship bracelet, franchise. Ooh, no, franchise could totally be a TV thing. Yeah, it's like units of a thing. Okay, all right. I think that's more right. Franchise, series, episode, season. I think that is more correct. And then we have tie, lanyard, boa, and chain. Kipu. I feel like I know that word. Why do I know that word? A chain and shoelaces and a friendship bracelet are things that you could put charms on. Is that crazy? Macrame. is not really that. I want to look up kipu.
It's probably not anything. It's probably like
The shape of the word. It's probably like it has poo in it. I mean, I actually do like charms. Friendship bracelet, chain, shoelaces. But what else? Franchise series, episode, season, lanyard. Not really. Conversation. I haven't thought about that one yet. What is conversation? So it feels like that's a like a fill in the blank, like blank conversation. Conversation starter. You know, franchise. Oh, I already got that one. That one's in the other friggin' category. Frick. Crafts kids do, but there's not a fourth one. Puff Daddy, Boa Daddy, Chain Daddy, Puff the Magic Dragon. I'm worried I have one of the other categories wrong, so I'm going to abandon purple first, and I'm going to go ahead and try and start out with this one. This is definitely right, though. Franchise, series, episode, season. That's got to be right. Okay. Yeah, this is the one that I'm more on the fence for. Chain, lanyard, tie, boa. Things that go around your neck. Okay, well, I was right. That's disappointing. It turns out it's just hard. Think piece and a period piece. Those are two different kinds of, like, a puff piece. Frick! And then a conversation piece? Is that a thing? And then it is... I don't know why shoelace is in that category. I don't know what a conversation piece is, but apparently it's a kind of thing. Okay, well, I don't know what kipu is, everybody. These are strings tied in knots. Oh, kipu! Frick, I did know what kipu was. God, it's like the like Mesoamerican, South American way of like writing information in knots. That's exactly a thing that I would know. Oh my God, that's like specifically a thing that I would know. I'm so glad we're deleting this video.